What's up, folks? I'm back again, being that same old broken record. I'm even a broken record about saying that I'm a broken record. But yeah, I even realized that, I went back into my posts from a few years ago and I'm just reposting them because I'm just saying the same thing that I was back then. And, they still apply to everything that's going on today. And I'm always focusing on solutions, even though people interpret it as me just being like blah 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 and preachy. And I can't help it how other people interpret what I'm saying, but I'm only here because I keep saying caring for the truth. And maybe the bigger word than the truth is caring, because I care. I'm not coming on here for my opinion. I'm not coming on here to be right. I'm just making observations on what's happening, and what's happening is the truth. The truth is what is happening. That's always what I've used as a definition of truth. So, yeah, it is challenging for me to see how other people misinterpret what I'm saying, but you know, it's not easy, but you know, I keep doing it and I'm not going to stop being a broken record because I want to talk about solutions, as freaking hopeless as it seems. The root cause is the consciousness, and that's where we have to start. We have to focus on the consciousness because it is the root cause. So here's something that I haven't really spoken too much about, which I should start really getting into. These two principles that are very important when it comes to solutions. And I keep saying over and again how we are programmable. It is our nature. Our human nature is, we're being programmed. Like just the media, the schools, the religions, all that. It's programming. The culture has programmed what people believe and gotten us so demoralized. That's the key, right? Because that's the other part is I keep speaking about morality. I'm not talking about anything else but that. And it's just so moral education is so important. Do you know any people talking about it? So that's what I'm here. That's my stand is to talk about morality and how it's something that is inherent to us, that is part of the consciousness, and we're able to tap into it. And there's consequences. There are consequences, right? That's morality is natural law. That if we believe that there's no such thing as right and wrong, even though we inherently do know the difference, and we pretend that what's going on, what's happening, the truth, that doesn't count because of persons, places, and things, that's the root cause. Those are the consequences that we are suffering. All the way down to believing that you're a good person when you really are contributing, endorsing, supporting, putting your hand over your heart for the criminals. And that's objective. That's what's happening. That's the truth. And morality, it's like if you're standing on a cliff, gravity isn't going to make any exceptions. You're going down. And if you lie to yourself about morality, you're going down. So that's the root cause. So anyway, I wanted to just talk about these two principles, and I'm going to get into them. I'm going to become a broken record more about them because I've said enough about everything else, even though it seems to be like a riddle. to everyone, but I keep saying that you do know. So anyway, the self-defense principle, and the non-aggression principle, hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. You have to be taught together, right? The non-aggression principle speaks for itself. Do not aggress. Do not initiate harms to another being, right? Right. And then self-defense principle. If someone does aggress or initiate harm against you, of course you have the right to defend yourself. So, quick example of programming early on in the public school systems. When two kids get into a fight, who was wrong? Who got in trouble? Right? Well, I remember when I was a kid, it didn't matter who started it in school. I never got into a fight. But whenever the two kids got into a fight, they both got in trouble. They both were punished or suspended, or they both suffered detention or consequences, right? I'm sure you've all experienced this. It didn't matter who was right and who was wrong. They were both wrong, right? And that's not morality being objective. So that's something that you're being taught early on, yet that you're being programmed to believe. And it's not, because even you knew that's not right. Like, the kid who started it should be wrong. And there's gray areas, but the gray areas of all the problems that we see in the world are never so gray that we can't get to solutions. But the point is that this is something that you learned, that you were programmed to believe, that the authoritarian figures above you get to make up right and wrong, and it doesn't matter who started it, you're both wrong. And that's just something that's part of our culture that was programmed into us. And I'll just leave that there for food for thought. But imagine the opposite. Imagine if we were taught in school the non-aggression principle and the self-defense principle together. So then you learned not to initiate harm. And if someone does initiate harm against you, it's right for you to defend yourself. What if that was taught across the board instead of both kids are wrong and it doesn't matter who started it? Let me know what you think.